Hi, I'm Jeff and you're here. Before we get started, Black Lives do have and will always matter. There'll be links in the description for you to check out. And just remember, it is our responsibility to protect Black women every single day. This is my favorite type of video to record. I know y'all haven't gotten one in like a month. This is what month is this? Why is the year going by so fast? This is my May TBR, so let's go.
I'll never need you. This is a sequel. I'm Max Keeble. I'm representing for the black people.
Now, to be honest, my TBR is kind of short, but that is because of the readathon. If you don't know, the readathon is May 17th to May 30th, the Ally-a-Thon to be exact. If you haven't watched that video, I'll leave the playlist of all the videos right here. Please watch them in order. Thank you. So this video is not only my TBR, but it is also my kind of like a guide in case you are looking for books to read for the Ally-a-Thon. I have my books picked out and maybe you will, get some ideas of what kind of books that you would like to read for the readathon as well. But before we get into them, let's talk about the books that I am reading that are not a part of the readathon. This is a book of poetry written by Jericho Brown. It basically just tells the experience of being Black in America, questions why and how we've become accustomed to terror in the bedroom, the classroom, the workplace, the movie theater. From mass shootings to rape to the murder of unarmed people by police, Brown interrupts complacency by locating each emergency in the garden of the body where living things grow and wither or survive. Next we have Yummy, The Last Days of a Southside Shawty by G. Neri. This is a graphic novel. It tells the story of this young boy named Yummy. Well, his nickname is Yummy. He gets killed and his friend and his classmate Roger is just trying to understand it. He's getting different stories, different narratives, and he's just trying to piece together what happened and why they want to kill this young boy. And it is a dramatization based on the events that occurred in Chicago in 1994. This gritty exploration of youth gang life will force readers to question their understandings of good and bad, right and wrong. I don't read enough graphic novels, but I'm very excited about this one. I'm hoping to cry, so that's always a plus. Next, I'll be reading Everybody Looking by Candace Elo. This is about Ada. She basically is just exploring things, her sexuality. She's exploring the world of dance, and she's learning that she needs to make a way for herself instead of worrying about, the approval of her family. It is a luminous and inspiring novel in verse about bearing the weight of others' expectations and finding the courage to shape life of one's own. Next, I'll be reading Jacqueline Woodson's Before the Ever After. This book is also written in verse. It is about ZJ. His father was a really famous football player and was just everybody's hero, but he starts to forget things, become moody. He starts to just do things out of the ordinary. How is it that this man who's been such a pillar in my community, a pillar in my life, what's going on? Why is he acting like this? And what are we to do when the idea of happily ever afters is no longer there? And lastly, I'll be reading this messy book by Raymond Leilani Luster. Okay, now this is about Edie. Now Edie is in an affair with a married man. Okay, and this married man's wife. Now this man and his wife done adopted a black girl, and now she is immersed in their life. The wife is like fine with it. Hey girl, we finna be friends. And now this Edie has to be a good example for Alika. Edie is the only black woman that Alika knows, okay? Luster is a portrait of a young woman trying to make sense of her life, her hunger, her anger in a tumultuous era. Now, the readathon books. Find your own books, but here's what I'm gonna read. Give y'all a little help, okay? The first pillar is Shahada, and the prompt for that is to read a book with the word God or Allah in the title. For that, I'll be reading Danny Toby's The God Game. So this book is about a group of geeks and gamers known as the Vindicators. They're targeted by bullies and pressured by parents. And, you know, at Turner High School, they're just trying to lay low and live their life, okay? And then one day they receive an invitation to play the God game. And this is a game that is run by a mysterious artificial intelligence who believes that it is God, or that believes it is God. And you have to basically do what they say and be rewarded. And they basically use this game to torment the people who've been tormenting them. And parents and teachers are exposed as hypocrites. After a while, the vindicators, their behavior becomes more selfish and more self-destructive. Now, the things that they do on behalf of God seem harmless at first, but they become more selfish and more self-possessed and more self-righteous, and they start to compete against each other. And of course they try to quit, and then God is like, ain't no quitting. And if you lose the game, you lose your life. Now this is very spicy. It's giving me Death Note tease, the anime. You know what I'm talking about? With Light Yagami, he was writing the names of people to die, and then eventually he's like started going crazy and started like, now he became evil. Just go watch Death Note. How about that? But this is giving me Death Note. This is giving me the movie when you have to play the game, the Truth or Dare game with that white lady who was in it. I don't remember her name, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So yes, I'm very excited to get to it. It's real thick, so I'm gonna have to get to really reading this, okay? Okay. Now Shahada is Arabic for faith, and for that prompt it says read a book that was recommended to you. We'll be reading Hafsah Faizel's We Hunt the Flame. Now I know y'all probably heard about this book, so I'm not gonna say too much because y'all know I'm what? Tardy for the party. Tardy for the party. Whoa. This is about Zafira, who disguises herself as a man as she braves the forest of Ars to feed her people. And it also tells the story of Nasir, who's the Prince of Death, kills people who defy his father, the Sultan, period. Now they have a problem. If Zafira is exposed as a girl, her achievements will be rejected. And Nasir, if he displays his compassion, his father will punish him. Now war is coming. Zafira embarks on a quest to get an artifact that can restore magic and stop the Ars. And Nasir is sent by the Sultan to retrieve the artifact as well and to kill the hunter. Now who's the hunter? Zafira, okay? There's an ancient evil. This is giving very much enemies to lovers tease. Y'all know that's my favorite tease. And she's also thick, but I have high hopes for this. I feel like it'll go really, really fast. And yeah, I gotta read this so I can get to the second one ASAP as possible. Okay. Next, the second pillar is Salah, and that is to read a book with the number 5 in the page count. With that, I'll be reading The Only Good Indians. This book has, well, if you take out the acknowledgments and just the acknowledgments, it's 305 pages, so I'm finna count it because y'all know I'm not finna read the acknowledgments, okay? Now, this book is about a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition. Now, this Stephen Graham Jones is called the Jordan Peele of horror literature, so I'm so excited, okay? This follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth put them in a desperate struggle for their lives. They are tracked by an entity bent on revenge, and these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent and vengeful way. I expect to be scared. I expect to fear. I expect it to give that Jordan Peele tease that it's saying it's gonna give. And if it doesn't, I want my money back. But I probably won't need it because I'm probably really gonna like this one. And Salah is prayer, and for that prompt we are doing read a 5-star prediction, which is steeped in gold. Now y'all know this dropped on 420. Mine came in on 422. This is about 2 Jamaican witches, Aria and Jasmine. Aria, she spent her whole life in a cell. She was exiled from her home, but every day brings her closer to freedom and vengeance. Now, Jasmine grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. She is the daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, but her existence is a threat to her mother's rule. Now, these 2 enemies get together to destroy Doyen Carryot, Jasmine's mama. Okay? She's also thick, but again, I do not think this is gonna take me long at all, because if the book is as fantastic as the cover, this John finna give what it's meant to give, and I am so excited. I've been tracking this book, child. Track. Okay. Period. Our third pillar is a cot to read a used book. For that, I'll be reading Edwidge Danticat's Quick Crack. Oh, wow. Could we say it like you're actually Haitian or no? For that, read a used book, I'll be reading Edwidge Danticat's Quick Crack. This is a anthology of short stories, of cute little anthology that has 9 stories that encompass the cruelties and the high ideals of Haitian life. My mama has been trying to get me to read Edwidge Danticat for a while. She always tells me, like, why don't you read her books? Why? And it's like, girl, I be forgetting. And then I had this. I think I stole it off my dad's bookcase, if I can be perfectly honest with you. Hope he doesn't watch this, because then he'll ask for it back. But then, whatever. If y'all don't know, May is also Haitian Heritage Month. And I just think that this would be a really good book to read for that. And yeah. Now, Zakat means charity. And for that, it is to read a book that was gifted to you. I had so many, because y'all know my birthday was in January, and y'all really all showed out. For that, I'll be reading P. DeJelly Clark's The Black God's Drum. This is probably the shortest book I have for this readathon. It just is what it is. Now, this book is about Creeper, who lives in New Orleans, and her sights are set on securing a passage aboard aboard Captain Anne Marie's smuggler airship, the Midnight Robber. She also wants to earn the captain's trust using a secret about a kidnapped Haitian scientist and a mysterious weapon he calls the Black God's Drum. Okay? Now, Creeper keeps another secret close to her heart. Oya, the African Orisha of the wind and the storms, who speaks inside her head and grants her divine powers. And Oya has her own priorities. Now, you're getting African deities, you're getting Haitian, you're getting war, you're getting... I'm so excited, and it matches my outfit. I'm really excited about this. Who gifted this to me? Mariah, over on Mariah's Nerdy Notes. Thank you so much. I know I told you thank you already, but I'm so glad that I can read this for this readathon. I've been putting it off, and now no more. So the next one is Psalm, and that prompt is to read a book in the sunshine. Is Words Like Thunder by Lois Beardsley. This is a book of poetry. This is a book of modern Native American poetry and prose. Oh, child, that's not even the full title. The full title is Words Like Thunder, new and used, admonishable, Anishinaabe prayers. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I don't know how to read. Stop. This is a book of modern Native American poetry that tackles contemporary topics like climate change and socioeconomic equality. It has a grace and readability that empowers readers and celebrates the strengths of today's indigenous people. More than anything, Beardsley emphasizes the notion that indigenous peoples whose modernity is a function of their survival are competent and wonderful, worthy of praise. Now, Psalm is fasting, and that is to read a book out of your comfort zone. For that, I'll be reading The Marathon Don't Stop, The Life and Times of Nipsey Hussle by Rob Kenner. I picked this book because I don't read biographies. I'm not a biographical reader. It's just not my tease. I just don't like it. But I do love me some Ermias Asghedom, and that's why I'm reading this. Now, so this says, revered for his powerful rhymes, his business savvy, and his steadfast commitment to the community where he was born and raised, Nipsey Hussle is a self-made hip-hop legend who went on to become one of the most important and misunderstood cultural figures of our time. Representing the Crenshaw district of South Los Angeles, Hussle grew up in the heart of the rolling 60s neighborhood Crips territory during the aftermath of the Rodney King uprising and the dawn of rap's death row era. While realizing his lifelong dream of hip-hop stardom, he became a visionary entrepreneur who disrupted not just music industry business models, but also long-standing cycles of racial and economic oppression. Rather than turning his back on the streets that raised him, Hustle stayed 10 toes down in the neighborhood despite the risks that went along with that decision. The certified platinum Grammy-nominated recording artist used his platform to speak truth to power, and leveraged his musical success to invest in family-owned businesses, buying back the block at Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard with his brother and business partner, Black Sam. It don't say Black Sam, but I know it's Black Sam, okay? Along the way, he worked fearlessly to overcome the divisions of street politics and provide economic opportunity, encouraging Black ownership as a way of building wealth and staving off the forces of gentrification. Central to Hustle's message was the concept of life as a marathon, driven by the belief that discipline, endurance, and long-term vision could empower anyone to achieve their goals. The loving father and inspirational thought leader was about to elevate his business even higher when he was gunned down on March 31st, 2019, outside the Marathon clothing store he established. And the last pillar is Hodge, which is to read a book by a Muslim author. For that is a reread. We'll be rereading Punching the Air by E.B. Zaboy and Yusuf Salam. This is my favorite book, one of my favorite books of 2020. It is about a young Black man who gets wrongfully convicted for attempted murder. He goes to jail, and he basically has to find hope and find life while he's in jail, even though he knows he didn't do it. He's using his art and he's using his words to just find some hope during this dark time. Now, Yusuf Salam is a member of the Exonerated Five, formerly known as the Central Park Five. And this book honestly was so good. I cried. I'm gonna reread it. I'm gonna cry again. And yeah, y'all know I love E.B. Zaboy as well. So when I saw this prompt, I said, baby, it's finna be a reread. It's going to be a reread. Now, Hodge is a pilgrimage, and for that prompt, it is to read a book with a Muslim main character. I'll be reading Interment by Samira Ahmad. This book is about 17-year-old Layla Amin. Her parents are forced into an internment camp for Muslim American citizens. Layla, with the help from her friends in the internment camp, her boyfriend, and an unexpected alliance, she begins a journey to fight for freedom, leading a revolution against the camp director and his guards. This is heart-racing and emotional. It challenges readers to fight the complicit silence that exists in our society today. I'm very excited. I've had this for a while. I've had this for maybe like a year or so, honestly. And I'm ready to get to it. That's it. I hope these 10 books have given you guys some sort of inspiration, some sort of ideas for the type of books or the type of authors that you would read. You can read whatever you like, but if you are going to read any of these books with me, just, put it down below, let me know, and maybe we could do a little buddy read situation and whatnot. I'm also reading this, but this is the group book for the read-a-thon. But you already knew that because y'all watched the videos, the playlist that was right here. Y'all watched it. If I can't put it back up here, it'll be down below. It's going to be in both places. So if you didn't know that I will also be reading Once Upon an Eid, now you know. Because this is the read-a-thon book. 15. So, there's one more falling. I'm tripping. Oh. Okay. I guess this video's over. I had to go because I have those books to pick up. But I will see you seeing me in the next one. Bye.